doing here? Okay, back again with another live stream. Let me check my stream over there. Make sure that's going to work right. Okay, so we got that going. I noticed that my I actually forgot to take my SD card here out of the one I just easy to boot SD card. I'm back to work on that. I forgot to take it out of the laptop, and what it should have done is booted up to it and either, passed onto the hard drive or sat there and waited for me to make a selection. But what it did was go into a little grub menu like it didn't work right. And I tried rebooting it, and that's all it did, right straight to the grub menu. So this thing may not even boot. Might not have written right this time. I don't know why. But it said it was successful. The first time I ran it, it was fine. So let me put it in the, let's get on camera 2 so you can see the screen. And we'll switch over to that screen, to that machine, and then I'll put it in the Net Pro Max and try booting it in there. Maybe it just won't boot in the laptop. I hadn't tried it before. Because if it don't want to boot at all, then there's no point in fiddling with it anymore, is there? Okay, got it in there. The stream is good again, except for the preview was sitting there not playing right. Yeah, it's broke. So my brand new redo of this thing is not even working. And I don't know why. Yesterday when I did it, maybe I should have, I don't see why that would have made any difference. Let me listen. Make sure everything's working over there. It's not working. See what it says. I couldn't really read it on the laptop too good. It was small. The darn thing's not even booting at all now. The easy to boot, it's not booting. I did it the same way as I did before, and it all said it was okay. I did try to run, I tried several times. I hope for an hour or more to try to run, defrag on it. Let me get it out. Turn it off and get it out of there. Well, this is, I'm going to put it in the, well, let's get back on the machine. Okay, so get back on here, and we'll put it in my Lenovo Wi-Fi. I'm getting to think that there's something funky about something that not cooperating with the SD card itself. I mean, maybe that reader's starting to act up. That's possible, the USB adapter. But there's easy to boot. Everything looks to be there just like it should be. Let's see, where's my ISO menu? I'm in the ISO menu. Where's the Linux? See, there's my Fedora, and when I was trying to run, let's go ahead and close that because I don't like to use that file manager anyway. But when I was trying to run, let's go ahead and go to, I can get to it by just using this drop-down menu, easy to boot. There we go. Now I can, that's the only file I put on it. And then, of course, the ones that, all the rest of it that, of course, came with it. But that's only ISO I put on it. And then my little, just a few files I put on there. A few Windows executables that I put on that other partition. Don't think that would have messed anything up, I guess. Having that there with a few files on it, would have got some kind of error, I would think. But, and I can't, the first time I built this, I did it in my Windows XP virtual machine, and it worked just fine at first. And then as I removed and put on different newer ISOs, and I started having trouble. Like I said, sometimes I could run make files contiguous, it fixed it all up. Sometimes then it got to where it didn't want to run. And I'm kind of starting to think, after all the stuff I read, that it might have been that there wasn't enough free space all in a row on the SD card for it to run. Could still be the case, I guess. Maybe I should have tried to defrag it before I put anything on it. But for some reason, that defrag won't run now. Let's leave it right there. Let's get on the website and again and look. Now my stream is yellow again. Well, I think this time, excuse me, and my speed test that I did earlier was good. I'll go ahead and do another one right quick. I think speedtest.net's just for a single speed test. That's the one I've used for years. It seems fairly accurate. I think this is still the one that Charter likes you to use, or Spectrum. Yeah, it says Spectrum on there. Or, well, Spectrum maybe because that's what my IP address is. There might be another one that they like you to use now, but let's just see. But I do make a backup video, so if it got messed up, I could upload my backup video. I'm not going to just stop again just because of that. I noticed that right before I quit my stream, after I stopped, I was shutting things down, getting ready to quit the stream, I noticed that it came back up green again. So I just think something's not working well either. Well, it may not be the internet. It may be the YouTube servers aren't working well today. See, I got 36 down and 860 up. That's way plenty. I used to only have 5, period, up. So that's plenty for it to work right. And so now I'm not running anything but like I always do, and of course my watching the stream, letting it play all the time, and just muting and unmuting the audio, which that's download, that's not upload. So and I don't think see if my web server is, I haven't checked it today, see if it's online. It shouldn't be. I mean, that's the only other place where, but he can't even get to my the links aren't working to get to the pages to download, so nobody can download from it right now anyway, from my music side. See that? Can't even go to that page. That's the other thing I'm supposed to be in the middle of fixing, and I got sidetracked on this easy to boot stuff. But let's go to the easy to boot site. Oh, it's back green again now, so there we go. So I'm going to sort by name. I don't think I ever did that. Let's see. File not contiguous. Defrag. Let's go to file not contiguous first and see if there's something about SD cards on here. SD. I can type SD. Okay, that's not the page with SD cards. And so let's go to defrag. This might be the page that had stuff about having trouble running defrag on. Yeah. It says make sure you select the correct. I'm just skipping around, but I'll probably have to go into more detail, such as SDB1. Let's see. NTFS, sudo mount dev SDB1, sudo u defrag, that's still for NTFS. Okay. Sudo QEMU system. Testing it in QEMU. I don't know if I even have QEMU on here anymore on this new system. So, BIOS compatibility. Let's start at the top and kind of look through it. Well, wait a minute. There's another page or two. Let's look at that page. See if that might have. I don't know which file had all that stuff about trouble with SD cards. This one wasn't it. Okay, so just keep one page open at a time because sometimes the stuff on the page uses up bandwidth. As much as I have, you wouldn't think you'd have trouble, but today I'm having something's going on. How to make one, BIOS compatibility. Okay, that's what I did today. Made it in Linux. Of course, these instructions are in the README files too, and that's what I was following. BIOS compatibility, 2 primary partitions. I did that. Copy payload files. Never download an ISO directly to the USB drive because the file may be heavily fragmented. Okay. And copy it. Up into your hard disk and then copy it. Okay. Make sure they're contiguous. You can make that file bigger, but right now the thing's not booting at all, so it's evidently just broke. After I look through here, I may give up on putting it on this SD card. Maybe there's something wrong with this particular SD card. I have 2 USB 6, but they're only 2 gigabytes. They're not, you can't put more than one. That's my problem with them is some of these ISOs are 3 and something, 2.5, 3 plus gigabytes, so I can't use it for some of them. That's why it got me started using this SD card. And then I thought, well, I got enough, got 32 gig, I can just about fill it up, and I had been until I started having trouble. Here's one of those things. For instance, to boot the Mini XP from Hiram's Boot CD, that's what they call it, you should name the ISO file with a ISO win BH. And I had to do that to get it to work. There's a lot of, I don't know what they call them. Maybe that's what they call Linux cheat codes on here, but that's not Linux, though. But anyway, it's Windows cheat code, I guess. Or answer why when prompted by UTP. But it wouldn't boot. I had tried it both ways. It wouldn't boot unless I renamed it. Of course, now it's not on there because I reformatted the whole thing. But I do have a backup of that system the way it was. But you still have to get the grub bootloader on there. But it's on there. It's just not booting to this easy-to-boot system. The grub bootloader's, it loaded up. But it just stops. It doesn't go to easy-to-boot. Okay, cannot defragment. Insufficient due to insufficient contiguous free space. Free clusters must be consolidated, i.e. by Windows. So not only do the files need to be contiguous, but the drive itself needs to be contiguous. That's what defrag does. It puts them all one right after the other instead of a bunch of space in between. I always understood it was mostly to speed up read times, But files can even be, especially on Windows systems, I don't know how it exactly does it in Linux, but in Windows, they could be split up into different spots on the hard drive by just the way it worked, and then that's why you needed to run defrag every once in a while. It was faster to write that way, I think, or something. Okay, and all about NTFS still. Config ISO. That's the one that's 500 megabytes. It's really only like 478 when I see it on my system. It's an empty file. I don't know how they make it show up to be 500 megabytes when it's empty. But anyway, this is used by easy to boot if you attempt to boot an ISO which is not contiguous. And then it says an ISO will usually be contiguous because it was copied to the ECB drive immediately after it was formatted by the script, the install script, basically. Okay. We will use DD to copy the contiguous ISO, non-contiguous ISO to config ISO. So that's why like my 2.5 gigabyte file wouldn't work because it wasn't enough space. And so if I would have went ahead and made me a 3 gigabyte, config ISO file, then it probably would have worked, but that also takes a long time to boot. So I thought it was best to start over and start new, and also for the compatibility with the newer Linux distros and stuff. You can delete the config ISO to make more free space on the drive, but all files will have to be contiguous. You can replace the config ISO file with a larger file. You can use any larger file, just name it config ISO, put it in the underscore ISO folder, but it must be contiguous. Take some time. So that wasn't the route I wanted to go if I didn't have to. I tried to do it what seems like the right way. ISO boot. You can if you are booting Linux ISO, it cannot be made contiguous, and it cannot be made contiguous. It will use similar technique to boot to multi-system xboot or yummy. Try and boot it from using known Linux cheat code parameters. There you go. ISO boot. And however, only some Linux distros support this, and it's what I'm also wondering is maybe the newer Linux ISOs just don't support it. May not work on new releases because new versions seem to always change the boot parameter. Yeah, they do. Fedora does. It may be that Fedora won't work at all, and I use Fedora so much that I probably won't get much use out of easy to boot anymore, if that's the case. But right now I'm back below square one because the other day I made one that booted just fine. It booted Debian, but not Linux. Just two Linux ones, Fedora, I mean. Now today it won't even boot at all. Now I'm getting aggravated. If you hold down the Shift key before you press Enter key, E2B will only use ISO boot to attempt to boot a Linux ISO. Okay, and that's that ISO boot. Well, what is ISO boot? What's different about that? It's probably a very long explanation. Okay, automatically used a Linux ISO is not contiguous. Oh, okay, that's what ISO boot is. Back to all what we were just reading. Okay. Now, yeah, so I haven't, actually it'll automatically do that for you. I think it says, it said that on the other page I was just on. I know it does that. I've seen it do it. But if you wanted to make it do that ahead of time instead of waiting, then you could. Format initially internally as strictly contiguous. The tip of the maintenance branch. 2FS file. This is like making it in the command line. When is that? April 14. Well, this should be all out by now. USB key. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. Strictly contiguous on ext4. If yes, how? Oh, most of the time you don't have to do it, but there is a way to do this. You're willing to use the tip of the E2FS progs, which is the program that does fixed disk. Well, not fixed disk. It's I was running the F2FS. That's for SD cards and stuff. E2FS is for your hard drives. For instance, you put something like this into your make2fs config file. Well, that's one of the files that's, they build for you, and I mean, I'm really not going to mess around with that. I'm not going to mess with all that. I'm just not even going to. I'll put it in my. Sometimes you find those little nuggets, and later you're like, oh, I wish I knew where that was. So I'll put it in there. This is telling you how to make, like ext3 and stuff in the command line. And testing on QEMU. Let's see if I have QEMU. QEMU. I don't think I have it. It says you can test on M. I didn't think I did. I think because it just doesn't. Well, I used to use it in Fedora 14, but I never had any more luck after that of it working. So I didn't want to keep. And it's kind of harder to use than VirtualBox. So. But it also tells you don't test them in a virtual machine. Go ahead and boot them on a real machine because you never know when the ISO will or won't boot. There's a lot of factors as to whether or not whatever it is you got are going to boot in the virtual machine. So. Oh, so if you want to make that IMG PTN files out of your ISOs, you got to do it in Windows, I guess. You can run it in a virtual machine under Linux, which is what I've been doing. I was thinking, well, I was thinking, I was talking about installing Windows 7 in my VirtualBox, but I think I want to do that right now just for this. I got too many other important things I want to do. I get my server back online. Somehow I decided this wouldn't take very long, and I would do it. So the next thing I needed to do was some kind of work, some kind of rescue work on anything. It is going to be bad not having something with like Grub for DOS on it and all that stuff. Not Grub for DOS, but Grub rescue programs and stuff already on them. That's the stuff that I took off of here to redo it again. Those are really pretty important programs for me. So that's all there is on that. Now, which one was I reading? This is make an easy boot drive, make using Linux. Well, that's not what it really said at the. Okay, change too many fragments. Let's see about. This one doesn't seem to have a lot about SD card. Maybe it's not saying SD card. Maybe it's saying something else, like a different name for one. So let's look. Flash boot. Okay, I didn't try that. But anything that's a Windows program I can't run right now, unless that Windows that I didn't realize was on my Dell 600 laptop is working, and I could do it over there. I know it's XP. I think it's all messed up. I think it got infected and cleaned so many times that it would barely run. Yeah, this is the main page about all the files not contiguous and all that. That's what we got going. That's where I got, first thing I got back into when I make drive contiguous, which won't run, it won't work. That's what I was trying to do. That's why I always did it until this last few days when I thought it wouldn't work, so I tried something else. WinConfig doesn't work, even though there is enough free space. Continuous free space. That must have been my problem, because the drive had been, written and rewritten for the last 2 or 3 years since I made that thing. I think it's been, I don't know how long it's been really, but it seems like at least a couple of years. Now you could use Defraggler. It's one they recommend, but I can't do that because my Windows XP can't see it. My virtual machine, this one in 28, it did before. Too slow. Say, if you need to add many ISOs, ISO and other payload files to your USB drive and make them all contiguous, saying if it's not enough free space available and or WinConfig too slow. Okay, I do remember it could be pretty slow when you had a bunch of files in there. Okay, add the payload files to the extracted HTTP download folder on your Windows hard drive. Then run make HTTP drive CMD script to make a new HTTP drive. If you have a fragmented drive with little free space, then this will be a lot faster. Oh, yeah. So you can go ahead and put them in the folder ahead of time, and then it'll copy them over when you run. Of course, that's the Windows way of doing it, but I guess it would work in the Linux way, too. If it's going to copy them, it's going to copy them, right? And trying to run it on the drive. You know what? That might make this work. Do it ahead of time and then make the system. And then if you have problems, okay. Well, that's a pretty good one. I'm going to hit a screenshot on that. Okay. Corrupt file or read only. Okay. Warning, if you are using plop. Yeah, I'm not using plop boot manager. That's plop boot manager. Okay. Let's see. And by the way, I thought about some SD cards have a little manual switch on them that you can turn them secure and unsecure, whatever they call it. Usually just either makes them read-only or read and writable. Well, I looked on this one, it doesn't have one, so I did that earlier this morning. I'm losing my comprehension here to read all this stuff. I don't know what I just saw on that one. Huh. There's an reason why that would happen. Why are my files always fragmented whenever I copy them? If you use USB device has a lot of deleted files, see, they don't completely go away. They kind of get compressed off in the side on hard drives and all drives, That's why you can get them back with test disk and other things like that. The unused free space can become fragmented when you copy over any file. It will be written to the unused areas of the volume, and so will be fragmented. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, don't go straight from I don't do that, but go straight from the internet to your SD cards. It might be a thing you might want to do, to make things faster. I can see somebody might want to do that. Okay. What are contiguous files? That explains what that means. And then when config fails to make all files contiguous, use Defraggler. Sometimes we be unable to make the files contiguous. Not enough contiguous free space. Yeah, so use the Action Advanced on Defraggler. It was saying that up here, you need, if you're trying to copy 5 gigabyte to it, you need 5 gigabyte of contiguous free space on the disk. It can't be divided up by being fragmented. So maybe this SD card has just been written and deleted from so many times, I'm not going to be able to use it anymore for easy to boot. I mean, it works fine for, it's not out of it, write and rewrites, yet, but they don't seem to work like hard drives in that respect. Seems like they're harder to keep defragged. Some of this ends up being the same stuff, exactly the way it was on another page, which is fine, but it says Defraggler can make contiguous all unused free blocks on a drive. Use Action Advanced Defrag Space option in Defraggler. Consolidate the free space before running WinConfig. Oh, and then run WinConfig. Oh, okay. That doesn't matter right now if I can't do it. And it doesn't matter at all right at this moment because this thing won't even boot. So I got a bad write somehow. I probably should just reformat that space again, or the whole drive again, and start over. I wonder if, I was going to say I wonder if I could defrag it before I start writing stuff on it with Defraggler, but if I was able to use it. But I got that error in the Linux defrag program that it said no file to defrag. Well, that was some sort of error that just don't make sense, I guess. So more about small MPFS drive. Okay, so delete unwanted large files. Repartition USB drive. Now, I could try reinstalling grep for DOS, but it could be what's broke. But I don't. It said it was fine. I watched it. Basically, it looks like it obviously needs to. I think it's best. Usually, when you get hung up like this, when it won't even boot at all, it's usually easiest to just start over. Well, it is when you can do it in the graphic GUI, the graphic user interface, when you have to go through all those commands. Even though I've been doing it lately, I still have to follow the instructions. I just can't remember everything. But the more I read all this stuff, the more I think maybe my particular SD card has just been used so long that maybe that's my problem with not being able to make it contiguous. That's why I can't make it contiguous. Why it didn't work this time and it doesn't boot, I don't know. Okay. Anything else? Flash boot, easy to boot. I just went ahead and put links to all those programs that recommended right here in this. Defraggler. Use Linux. Let's look back at they use Linux to build it. There's commands for changing permissions and stuff. Update easy to boot. So you do rsync, AUV, TB new, my USB drive. Huh. That's not going to be exactly where it is, though. I can see that right there. But rsync AUV, maybe you'd use ETB new. I don't know. Files compatibility, copying payload files, making files contiguous. I was on this page just a while ago. Okay, the only thing Only thing I haven't paid a serious attention to is some of these commands here. The ones about and followed those and done those all along with chmod 777. In Linux utils executable, I did that in Crusader, and then type fmtsh. That I don't think I have a problem with because I just did it in the GUI this time. Well, I've been doing it that way, but I did try it once in the command line. Like, you know, well, I kept seeing that. Well, I finally figured out I was trying to run the make files continue, the defrag program that's on there from the SD card, and that wouldn't let me do it. And then I ran it from the hard drive and pointed it at and it ran, but it still didn't do what I wanted, what it was supposed to do. It didn't seem to be. Now, these are just examples of commands. Okay. And for a 64-bit system, you'll need to install i3DX6 support. And that I couldn't get that to work on here, so I quit and went to the 32-bit system. So, I think I will, I think I'm going to reboot the laptop. Oh, I'd have to use something to fix Grub. It doesn't have, that's right. I'd have to use a Grub does not have the entry for the, see, now that I don't have anything to do that with, I was wondering if I could do update and have it, and it would fix it. So I was kind of wondering. I'd have to go back on that machine to do that. I don't like giving up on a project. Once I get started on something, I like to succeed. That's sometimes it can be my downfall. I keep going and going and going. But yeah, I don't see why. Let's see what's in the Windows files here. Let's go by extension. Okay, make easy E2B USB drive. Of course, you don't run it from your SD card. You have to run it from somewhere, copy it somewhere else, I believe is what you do. But anyway, yeah. Make the drive contiguous. You can do that. You can run it from the card, or at least I think you can. And then testing QEMU. Yeah, I think you can run those from the root of the whole thing. That's why they're there. Update the drive. I think you might be able to even run that from there. But you have to have something that can see it. So, of course, if I was going to do it, if that Windows system would boot, that is the only way I think I could do it without spending hours and hours setting up a... Well, I could install Windows 7 and then still have the same problem. That's the thing. I don't know why I can't, it won't just automatically just get out of there. Let's make those equal, so I'll still be in that folder. And okay. Yeah, see, I have that Flash Boot application it was talking about right there. And then I have the Defraggler right there. So, okay, so that's in my downloads, but it's also already backed up to my backup drive, which is not even plugged in anything right now. I wouldn't want to plug in my backup drive to that Windows system if I'm not sure if it's fresh and clean, that one on the laptop. What I'm thinking though, I might just go ahead and let's see, how would I? Oh, I do have a CD drive on this thing. And I do have CDs to fix. Fix Grub. I'm going to reboot it and just look at it. It might have a spot in there where it just will say boot to first partition. You can do one-time edits by, like, you can go in there and just type if you know how to type in the right stuff. So close that for right now, and that too. Now stream went back to normal. I haven't seen it not be green anymore. So let's switch to the wireless mic. So that when I move around, well, I've got to get this. Well, I've got to get this mic. Did I do it wrong? Yeah, I'm muted. It's moved. It's back to where it really used. Back to where it really ought to be. Kind of more where it ought to be. I don't know why it does that. It should. I wish it would stay in the same place every time. It's moving around in my screen there, but now I'm on the wireless mic. I generally just like, okay, the top one is the wireless and the bottom one is, that's what I've been doing lately, but it's not the bottom one, it's the next to the bottom one now. And I don't know what I guess the very bottom one is the cam 2 if I have, it says video though. I don't know why it's even, oh, I'm in the cam 1. I usually do it in desktop. I'll show you. That's what threw me off. Yeah, it is the bottom one if I'm in desktop, but if I'm in cam 1, there's another one under there. So that would have muted the how could it mute the video? There's no audio. They're two separate streams. The audio and video are separate streams. Well, let's make sure I haven't messed anything up. Okay. Now, cam 1, I'm going to use it to show my laptop. See, with the mic stand moved out of the way, now I can open the CD drive too. Okay. I think I'll be able to put... grab this thing. Oh yeah, I forgot about the wire for it. Well, let's try to just not plug it in while I'm doing this. If I don't go too long, if I start going too long, then I will have to plug it in. But I probably won't go that long. Oops, doesn't want to move. That's really crooked, isn't it? But I'm going to have to be using my hands. I mean, the one behind me would work much better. I just thought that would be... Well, thing is, I can hold it up close enough. Yeah, let's do it by hand because I do know how hard this is to do. I didn't get the CD out. Yeah, and holding it straight's hard, everything. But if I just turn that other one, then you won't really be able to see what I'm doing. So what I'll do is close it, reboot it, and I have the wireless keyboard up here, so I should be able to interrupt the boot, the grub, and type in there if I need to. Probably have to dig it out from where it is to type on it one-handed. I can't reach it holding this camera. Okay, oh, it's in there. I just been paying attention. Microsoft XP, Windows XP. It's in the list. I just never noticed it. There we go. Let's see if it'll run. I got a feeling it's the old original install that I did. Not the original, but you know, when I built it several years ago, I had XP and Fedora or something on it. But all this time I've been whining about not having it, and it could be, I may have redone it. It may be a new install. When I get in there, if it runs really badly, really slow, then I'll know. So. Oh, it's not going to boot, doesn't look like. Oh no, Gallery Utilities is doing defrag. Okay. Referring to defragment. Well, I probably ought to let it do it. Well, I don't think it'll take long. I've got Gallery Utilities set up to defrag it automatically, evidently. There it is. It's up. Okay, what's the password for that? I didn't think that was it. Okay. I got to get it out. I don't remember it. Everything is messed up now. Sorry. I guess I should have got that. Should have got the other camera aimed over there. I just thought it would take too long and be too much of a pain. Oh, that just gives video feedback, doesn't it? Okay. Well, let's switch to camera 2. I can't use this camera for very long with it not being plugged in anyway. I was being lazy, making a mess out of my video. That's what I was doing. I thought I could set it on my keyboard tray and get a good angle at it. Wasn't really realizing that that was not going to work. That's probably about right from a normal camera. Oh, I was like, what? Okay, back on that one. Yeah, that's about right. Now this one, let me go ahead and move the camera. It's already zoomed in quite a bit, so for that monitor, oh, that's not so bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not so bad. At least you can get an idea. Okay, now, yeah, I've got the password out, but I haven't looked at it yet. Okay. I guess I should go ahead and get the keyboard down, the wireless keyboard down, so that I can use it. Wait for it to get all booted up. And I think I will go back to my good mic now. Let's see. Okay, now we should be back on the SM58. Now we should be back on the SM58. Oh, I muted the wrong thing. Muted the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, now back on the SM58. Now I can't check my stream though without having the using this machine. So, but of course you're not seeing that now. Okay, so that's fine though. It's not what I don't need you to see it. I just need to be able to do it. That thing as much stuff is running in the background. I'm going to guess that. Okay, maybe. As much stuff is running in the back. I'm going to say that Avast has got a big error on it. Yeah, you are unprotected. Upgrade now. Register, please. I think my registration ran out on my Avast. So there's no telling what all I need to do for this. Use register. I was trying. There should be a page where you, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can put that. See if I should have that. I may have that password right here. See if I can. I shouldn't have to register, but what you have to do is you don't have to re-register every. We used to you have to re-register every year, but now I think all you have to do is just type in the password that you already have. But of course, you got to know what it is. Don't see it here. Got a lot written on all these little pages, though. Okay, not there. But I know where I have an Avast password. It could be I ran out of devices and had to just not do it in here or something. Seems like I kind of remember you can have so many devices per account, you know, 5 or 4 or something. Let's see, I'll find out. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it worked. Well, it let me into the setup anyway. There we go. Update's what I was looking at. I think maybe if you just say update, it may be all right. And maybe just typing the password in just now might get it set up. Because I got it on my phones. That's 3. I have it on my virtual machine. That's 4. Let's see. What's it asking? Already up to date. Okay. The program seems to be up to date, but it's still not letting me. Oh, your registration has expired. Free. I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't want to plug in my SD card with, I don't care if it, even if there's not a single Windows execute. Well, there's those CMD files and stuff in there. I don't want to plug it in here. Unless this thing is cleaned up. No, I forgot it was there, so I hadn't run it in a long time. I don't know where you go to, you know, set up the registration. It just says, just stop doing it, and it says registration required. Update, scan tools, store account, maybe in the account section. That should be it, I would guess. Okay. Yeah, like I would log in with Facebook or Google. Okay. Oh, okay, there's a password. maybe that'll do it. There's always something in it. I remember there was a time when this thing couldn't even, the Avast couldn't even scan it. Yeah, it's showing the devices and everything, so it logged in. L6000 online. ASRock. I don't have the ASRock system anymore. Dell 1525. Well, I don't have that one anymore either. Secure another device. Okay, so it seems to be okay. I don't know. Mobile security. Maybe they're on another account because they're not tying them. Yeah, it's not tied together with the mobile. One Alcatel. There is one. Okay. I think I might have had to make another account. I don't know. Anyway, seems to be okay now. Where was the? Still says please register. Let's look on update. I think I need to change some settings because you shouldn't. I don't want to have to type that in just to update it. Now it's updating the definitions though. Oh, now it says up to date. Can't update the program. It seems to be updated, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can't turn the pop-up offers off unless you pay for it. General program, program settings, protection control, protection settings. Program settings, protection control. It seems like the way I would want it, but it's not updating. I don't think. Well, I can just turn. Well, I like it. See that the password is more protection, even like if some script is trying to turn off Avast or something. Okay, I'm going to say leave protection control and protection settings, but program settings doesn't have to be selected, I don't think. Settings. Okay, now. Registration. Registration has expired. Okay. So I guess, see about that. Seems to be running okay. I mean, other than the Avast being outdated. The last time I remember it running really bad, you couldn't even work around in Avast. So 11.3.18. Current registration will expire on 11.3.18. Oh, well, this is today. Okay, 0 days remaining. So, activation code, insert license file. I think the newer version doesn't do it this way. I think this could be an older version. I don't think it's updated. I think you can't update it because you're not registered. And you have to, where do you go to get registration code? Yeah, I don't have it yet. So usually tells you somewhere how to go and do it offline. Okay, that doesn't seem like the way I should have to do it. License file. Okay. You click on register now. It doesn't. I tried that a while ago. Didn't do nothing. Background, I'm going to guess that. Okay, just does something, but it doesn't do nothing. Okay, so just well, let me get on my machine here then. And I don't want to surf the internet or do anything with it like that. Let's see. Oh, let me switch back so you can see what's going on here instead of just that. Okay. See if I have any Avast links in here that'll go straight to where the Avast site. No, I don't think I've even been to the Avast site since I built this system. I opened up the wrong thing somehow. Avast Anti Virus. Okay. Get this out of that page so that when I open stuff, there we go, Avast account. Download. If I don't want to have to download it onto my drive. Well, I could download it and then it's Windows, isn't it? Well, let's just hang on to those pages till I'm sure what I need. Well, no, might be using up resources. There we go. We won't show myself logging in. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah. Okay. I think I can go back to the desktop now and show you what's going on. So I got logged in. Guess I can go back a page. It starts like that after you log in, and so I've not done this. I didn't even seen this page before in a long time. Some of that stuff I need to delete because I don't even have those systems anymore, if I can. But first, let's see. It says, yeah, it says you are protected, but then it says it's expired or may be expiring soon. So last time it communicated was 18 months ago. Get true protection. I think they want to go through and try to get you to get the paid version, which you can't blame them for that. They're letting you use it for free. Not so cheap, is it, if you're paying for it? I think, yeah, it's for a year. Okay, so the free one, of course, is what I'm going to get. Okay, now it's downloading it, and it's doing the Windows version, so I may have to run that to upgrade that thing. Okay. Run the installer, confirm the installation, follow this setup instructions. Okay, doesn't say anything about getting your. I think you just log into it, but or in the newer version, I think maybe I have the older version. But like, yeah, that AS Rock machine doesn't even work anymore. Well, what do I have? I have the the AS Rock motherboard is going to be Mom's new machine. I've got an 8-core processor and 8 gig of RAM in it, but that's there's no Windows on that. So let's see. There's 2 versions of it there even. And there you might be using up how many licenses I can. Delete from account. Yes. That's good. That's what I want. Okay, and then the other one. Does it say when the last time? I guess it's because I had a 32-bit and a 64-bit on there at different times. Yeah, the last communication 8/27/16. I didn't think of looking at it before. So that's how you do that. I knew there was a way to do it. Dell 1525. I don't have Windows on it. Got just Debian on it. Yeah, I know on this one. I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can always do it again. Now, WinXP Vert. That is the one I'm using right now. Last communicated. Doesn't say. Yesterday. Okay. L6000. Last communicated 21 minutes ago. Alcatel, but there's only one. Dell Beam 4.3. Yeah, that's why my my Android won't do a lot of stuff because it's too old. I need to try to. What does it say? Last communicated 7/6/16. So this may be. I don't know. I might have had it on. I may have made a new account for the phones or something. I don't know. I shouldn't have. But anyway, I think I'm going to just have to run that install file to fix that. Because it's not doing the old thing where you used to have to get a key, get it emailed to you, and then I don't have that drive plugged in. Let me plug it in. I'll do it with the USB stick because I'm fixing to reformat it. Where is it? I'm fixing to reformat it anyway. I've been fiddling around with it. Oh, I think it must still be in the Net Pro Max because I tried to boot it to it. Let me see. No, it's not. Must have dropped it or something. Well, how would I possibly have just misplaced it? I wonder if it went up under the laptop. Maybe I dropped it in the floor and I didn't know it. It normally only can do that. Get up under there on the right side of it. Let's see. Let's see if I drop it in the floor. Oh, come on. It's not up there like under, you know, I picked up the keyboard and put it back, the wireless keyboard. I don't see it in the floor. I mean, it could have fell up under the desk or something. If I forgot and left it on the keyboard tray, which I try not to do, then I could have scraped it off, you know. The little cap for it's up there in the spot where I usually keep it. Sometimes I set it on the front of the board where the, keep forgetting about where my mic is, where the laptop is. Let me put this mic up. Okay, so now I'm on the wireless mic so I can move around and talk and look. Oh, this is aggravating. I don't know. Maybe I really did drop it in the floor. It actually can't get up under the front of the laptop. So let's get down in the floor and look again. Get up, look over here and see if it's behind my chair. Yeah, I did get up and come over here to adjust this, but unless I was holding it in my hand, I wouldn't have had it with me. Seems like it would be here on the keyboard tray. I mean, it's not there. Unless it got underneath some of these sticky notes. Doesn't make sense. It's not under the laptop. I didn't let it get down here where the mouse is stay and play, did I? Not rats, mice. Computer mice. I'll be darned. Some days you just can't win for losing. Surely I didn't put it in a pocket, but let's look and see. I do stick it in my watch pocket right there sometimes when I'm going to carry it around, but I got lots of stuff in this pocket, so if I'm really going to look in there, I'm going to have to clear it out. I don't believe it's in my pockets, but I just can't imagine where else to look. Change. I must have knocked it off into the floor or something and just didn't ever even notice it. So the only thing else I can figure is it really did hit the floor and then bounce off somewhere where I don't see it. I remember I thought I was holding it when I was thinking about it a while ago. About saying, oh, I'm not going to put it in the laptop until I know it's safe to put it in there. And all that. Unless it was on the desk over here and it got under the, I think it would fit under the sound board. It's not under there. Okay. Now my fanny pack's falling off. I only wear this to hold my my phone for my wireless mic. These things, I do not like them. Never have used. This friend gave it to me. That's my disclaimer. I didn't get it, and somebody gave it to me, and I never used it. Stayed in the garage for years until I figured out it was useful for that. Holding that phone when I set it up as a wireless mic. Okay, I'm gonna get a flashlight and look better in the floor, because sometimes things do fall under the edge of the desk there. There's another penny that I didn't see. This is not funny. You do not generally lose my things like that. That's what we all say, isn't it? A lot of times, though, I just can't see them when they're right there, and if I shine a light, I'll see them. But it doesn't look like it got under the thing. Doesn't look like it's down under the desk. Can't really imagine where else to look. Sometimes stuff falls and bounces way further than you would expect, though. Since I didn't know it fell, it's pretty hard to figure out where to look for it. I picked up the laptop and it wasn't under there. This is ridiculous. Okay. I did pick up the, the wireless keyboard and move it around and use it. So, I keep it on that same general area. Of the desk. That's the one disadvantage of things that are small like that, isn't it? Some people say they can't keep up with stuff like that. They don't like things that small. I usually do all right. Right now I'm not. and just let it fall whenever it came out of the Net Pro Max. Okay, I've already looked in all my pockets and everything. Shoes. And I moved my tray. I didn't look actually under the bed, but you wouldn't, well, now that I don't know where it when or where it fell to, there's just not much telling how far it could have gone. Let's see. Trying to remember if the last time I left the room, if I could have possibly had it with me, but I can't remember if that was possible or not. About to fall trying to sit down in the chair when it's not there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna quit digging around for it now. I'm not sure what made me realize to look for it. Oh, I was gonna use it. I was gonna pick it up and put that, because I didn't want to, I decided I didn't want to, now here's a crazy idea. Is it plugged? Yes, it is. It's plugged into my machine. I had plugged it in at whatever point. Well, I'm glad I found it, but dang. Okay. I'm not senile, I'm just forgetful. Okay. Back on the SM58. It's in the machine. Boy, why didn't that occur to me? Okay, downloads. Yeah, what I just copied. Okay, now go over here and get to, not easy to boot, but the 5 gigabyte thing. Where is it? There, 4.8 gigabyte. Okay. Avast. Defraggler, I might want that. And stuff for burning. Flash boot, 48 megabytes. Do I want that? Might, never know. Okay. And oh, the easy to boot setup file. If I end up redoing it in Windows, I want that. See if this etcher is a, I think that might be not be a Windows application. I'm not sure really. Okay, so I've got easy to boot, flash boot, defraggler setup, Avast setup. So if I rebuild it on that Windows machine, Fedora, Raspberry, okay. That is all I need. Now, photos won't run on XP. Okay. I don't think I ever switched to don't know if I ever switched to desktop. What am I showing? Camera? Yeah. Well, let's go to camera 2, because I'm going to go put it in the all I'm going to do is eject it and go put it in the laptop. All right, now let's see if things are going to work properly. Let's check our stream again. Go back to the desktop till I'm done doing that. Well, the machine saw it. Wants to know what I want to do with it. And the stream's green at least, but I want to make sure everything's working. When I go to switching things around and saw it, doing all that stuff, I might make a mistake, you know. So, camera 2. And we'll use the other wireless mouse. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, open it up with Windows Explorer, because that might be what I want to use to run that stuff with anyway. Oh, it didn't open up the one that I want, though. Hope it works. Let's see. Seems that it might not have seen the other partition. If that's the case, then be in trouble. Doesn't see it. It sees a CD drive, which of course has nothing in it. I wouldn't have thought of that. I guess since Windows XP was not made for 32 gigabyte drives are big for one of these things, so it sees easy to boot, but it doesn't even see the other one. And if it doesn't see it, then I will have to copy those files over to the easy to boot folder. Let's see. That's weird because you can plug in that 4.5 terabyte drive. Well, it only, what is it? Yeah, like you can't put XP with, it's got to be within 3 gigabytes of the beginning of the partition for it to see it to boot to it. So I guess to mount it, it's the same thing. That's really special. Whoops, I hit cancel. Well, what I'm going to do is close that program window because I know I'm going to try to install the upgrade. But I guess I'm going to have to take it out. Let's try Total Commander first. Make sure that it doesn't see it, because if it does, no, it doesn't see it. Easy to boot, DVD, and C. That's it. So the operating system can't see it like that. So, where is the safe remove hardware? That's always better, even in Windows. You can get away with it a lot of the time. You can actually have more trouble. I have more trouble with it in Linux, just yanking them out and damaging files. That thing got hot than I used to in Windows. This thing is cracked enough to really give me trouble. The adapter case. I don't know why. I guess that laptop is hot and it just made it hot. Okay, back to the desktop. That's a pain. Okay. I really had no trouble. I don't remember anything important to me that it wouldn't boot to. So I'm kind of wondering if I should just build it with one partition. Well, we'll see. Going around the block to get to where we can even try. So, thinking about going back to before it was one partition, I didn't have two. Okay, make me a folder over here saying Don's files. And I'm just going to copy all that stuff No, let's don't do it all. Just do the ones I just now did. Those other ones aren't. They're not very big, but well, they could be useful. Very useful stuff. And I don't know if they're on that machine. Not that much stuff. This is how I used to do it. I just had a folder, you know. But I also had to worry about those files, like if I wanted to, I didn't want to reformat it, you know, without backing those up first and all that stuff. Because I also use this for things like carrying my personal files with me in my pocket in case, you know, if I needed them somewhere or whatever. Don't do it very often, but so that makes me need to kind of keep a good system that will still be working if I forget to back it up or whatever, you know. Let's see. Videos, that way I can see my file that's being made. Okay. Dashboard. All right. Let's see. Oh, let's unmount that thing. I reject it. Now we'll put it back in the thing again. Back in the laptop. Camera. Now this time I should be able to see the folder okay. I think I'll switch mics again because I keep moving my head, forgetting what I got going on here. Okay, now we should be working on the wireless mic. Test it. I've stirred up dust. There's so much dust in here. Wireless mic. Have even more trouble. Okay, so now, now I can see my Dons files folder and Avast. Go ahead and try to install Avast. It should just update, you know, whatever, the one that's on there. And now that I went and logged in and all that stuff, maybe I won't have to, you know, do all that. I may still have to type it into the new version. I don't know. Maybe it'll just update the registration process to the new way, you know. So I have a feeling this one that's on here is from 2015 or something like that, you know. When was it the last time it said I was in there? A long time. 16 or 15 or 16 or something. Okay. Install. Yes. Install Avast Secure Browser. Make Avast Secure Browser my default. Yeah, you got to pay attention to that stuff. Okay, no. Okay, now I'm not going to be installing either one. What I want to know is there's going to be any more. There's a customize button. I want to look at that because I might not want. Wi-Fi shield. Well, I don't see anything that I absolutely wouldn't want, like toolbars or anything. I think they just push their browser now. I've tried it and it doesn't work very well. Thought it might be useful, but it didn't work. Probably wouldn't even run right on XP anyway. Of course, that was a year or two ago. I mean, by now maybe it does run good. But like I said, I bet it won't even really run right on XP. So far it's installing though. It seems like I tried, if this is the same XP that was on here before, I tried to install the newest version of Avast manually like this and it couldn't do it. It hung up. So it seemed like I seemed like I remember thinking I couldn't find any. I think I might have even scanned it a couple of times, like with Malwarebytes or something. But since I couldn't update Avast, I was suspecting that it was infected and locked, you know. But all I see right now is just that it's expired. And it's about halfway through the installation, so maybe it's going to be okay. Now I could zoom in a little closer on that and all that stuff, but it really would not be any clearer, I don't think. I suppose I could try. While I'm waiting here, I was just trying not to fiddle around with more stuff, you know. Let's see. The more you zoom in, the worse your picture gets. So, but like that, you can tell a little bit more about what I'm showing. Whoops, turning the camera mic stand a little bit, but it's hard to do a fine-tuned adjustment. Okay, well that's you can't read it, but now it at least looks like what it is. I can't get it to not be blurry. The cameras just aren't good enough for that. So go ahead and check the live stream again while we're. Okay, now back to the camera. All right, now it's getting close to being installed anyway. Unless it gets to the end and then just, errors out. Well, I can't believe I completely forgot this system was even still on here. I thought I had reformatted it and got rid of it altogether. I guess I wanted at least one system with hardware, Windows on a hardware, and I guess I just left it for that reason. And I guess I kind of think what I had planned was to reformat Windows. Left it as it was and thought, well, when I get time, I'll reformat Windows. But yeah, I don't really use Mozilla on my Windows systems anymore, so let's see how many programs are on here. Yeah, I think this is the old system because if it was brand new, I wouldn't have that many programs on there. Good thing is it took a lot of time to set it up with all that, so if it can be clean and work okay, then the problem I had before is that I remember is that it wouldn't run. You couldn't use it. It was messed up and slow, Maybe one of the last scans I did on it fixed it. Who knows? I don't actually need to be on that Avast file. In my, there we go. I'll leave that Windows Explorer open for a minute. Let's see what it does. It finished. See if it pops anything up and tells me what's going on. Just says your system is secure. If I click on it, what does it do? Still shows register. Probably have to reboot to have it take effect. Unless it's not quite through doing what it was doing. See if it can update. Reboot required. Yeah, restart now. That's what I kind of figured, but it wasn't telling me that, so let's say restart now. Should just reboot the system. guess I can try one of my new cough drops. I've got a steady drainage now going here that I can't quit. Usually when I'm using the SM58, I can kind of stay away from the mic, you know, when I'm making noise, but I can't do that when I'm using the wireless. Got these same Ricola that I use, but these are not the ones I like. The honey, whatever, honey lemon. They're lemon mint, and they're sugar-free, and I think they have a bad aftertaste. They were out of them. Ah, that's what that darn thing does. See, it's not even working. I forgot to take out the easy to boot. Now let's don't lose it. But yeah, it's not going to boot. But if this system is okay, if it's not infected or anything, I can use it to build it with Windows. Because, you know, of course, it's going to see the USB. Oh, hurry. It's going to boot into Debian. It seemed to be running okay. So if it's running okay, and it seems, you know, safe enough to use, then I think what I'll do, well, if it can't, of course the other partition boots up just fine in Linux, but it's Windows that I wanted it for. Well, not just for Windows, but that is one of the things I wanted it for. Not so sure I want the other partition now. I'm thinking I'm going to reformat the whole thing to just FAT32, put it in gparted and do that. And then put it on here and build the easy to boot. Already forgot the password now. So far, the cough drop don't taste as bad as I thought it was going to. There's one reason why I knew I didn't want to reformat this thing. There's some ECU software in here, you know, some stuff for OBD2 auto computer stuff. I have a username for me and one for my brother, and he uses that stuff on his. My vehicles are too old for that. They don't have that. That he was using it. Well, he's got a Windows laptop now, so he don't need it anymore. He's got a Windows 10. Yeah, he don't need this anymore. So if I need to reformat it, that'd be fine. Well, Flash wants to update now. Not now. That'll take 10, 15, 20 minutes every time you let it do that. I'm going to go back to the other mic because I can just feel how loud I'm being. Okay, back to normal, I think. I have to wait for Avast to get loaded up. Now I'm checking my stream again. I have to wait for Avast to get loaded up. Now I'm checking my stream. Okay. Oh, I never did switch off a camera too. Okay, so we're good. I checked my stream. Now let's see if we're fixed. If we're not, I'm going to be a little bit flabbergasted as to what to do. May not be completely done booting up enough to. I tried to make everything, nothing but what I really needed running in the background on this. I remember that. Now, I clicked on it with left click, it hadn't done anything yet. Right click and it wouldn't bring up the menu yet, so it may still be trying to get loaded. Better wait a little bit. See, I got plenty of applications here on the desktop, the old Windows 3.1 style. Well, that's the way I still like to do that on Windows. The ones I use a lot. I end up with stuff on there that I don't use a lot. All the stuff would be 2 or 3 years old now, though. I haven't used it in so long I forgot I had it. Click that Avast icon again. Could be updating. I just thought of that. Might be why it won't respond right now. It says it was protected, but it said it was expired. So I don't see how it would be protected if it was expired. I know they don't let you. Usually, it doesn't let you download any new definitions once it's expired. It keeps getting the hourglass come up and go away. I don't want to give it more and more stuff to do. I've learned the hard way. Don't keep doing that, especially on this old machine. You shouldn't do it anyway. You're just gonna give it more commands to try to do. And since this is a 1.6 gigahertz single core, which is okay for XP, but not my first XP. I ran when I bought XP the first time. I ran it on a Pentium 3. I don't know what it was now. But anyway, the one I ran it on most of the time after that was my Pentium 4, 2.4 gigahertz Pentium 4. Started out with like 512 megabyte of RAM, but now it's got 2 gigabytes in it. I have Linux on it. I still use it some. One reason I don't use it as much as I'd like to is because it's loud and makes a lot of heat. Now that came up because of all my clicking. See. Oh, that was Avast. That's from my right click. Let's see if I can make it open up. I probably have tried to open it 4 times now, so it's probably going to keep trying to answer that. I wasn't patient as much as I was saying I was trying to be. That's why I keep getting these hourglasses on my mouse pointer. I used to get into I love to change the desktops and backgrounds, and I used to have a program on my Windows system to automatically change the desktop backgrounds, and I like to change the pointers and all that stuff, and completely quit doing that once I got out, into Linux, and I didn't want to spend that much more time on a Windows system. If I was going to do something, I just wanted to get it done. And usually I had to update them before I could use them again because I use them so seldom, just like right now. Well, it's something that I had to update before I could even use it. So, looks like Avast is trying to open up. Now it's running, right now it's running slow again, like I was saying it did do, and I thought I was going to have to reformat it. But maybe I'll let it set longer before I tried to open Avast last time. I don't remember what I did now. I think did I boot it up and then go off in the other room? No, I didn't. I know I had to take when I took that last break, that was when I had to shut down my stream. I went ahead and shut it down because I needed a break and because it was showing yellow. So your license has expired. Okay. Continue. Let's see. Don't worry, we already have a new one waiting for you. Another year of protection. Just click away. Okay. Looks like I might have more than one window of it opened up. But it could just be that's the other part of it, so I'll just let it stay like it is until I wait and see if this comes up. If I close that one that's in the back prematurely, I could have to start over or even mess up what I'm doing, Okay, yeah, here we go. Select. It only has a select on the right side. I don't want that one. Well, maybe it's not finished loading. How do you fix that? Wait till the hourglass quits, I guess. I know if I click on that, I'm going to be selecting the, pay for it. Oh, it's $19.99 a year if you buy it on. I guess it's a special. It's much more like it than $60 a year. I'm going to close that window. I'm not sure if it's like what you have to do to get by it. Well, I shouldn't have closed it. I should have clicked on that one behind it and see what's in it. But I clicked on the X, and now it's either getting ready to close or doing something. I'm sure if it's not finished doing what it's supposed to do to get going again, then start a free trial. Silent mode is on. You will not receive any notifications until you turn off silent mode. Well, why would I want to turn it off? Does that mean you won't get any detection scans? This is completely different looking than the other one. Private mode, performance, clean up premium, upgrade, notifications. Let's see what that says. I think I may need notifications on to know when there's something wrong. It's way different. It's harder to understand what they're talking about. Let's look at my license and see if it's on now. I think that window was kind of a trick to get you to click that green button to buy the. I think it'll open up a browser and try to get you to buy. Log into your Avast account, enter valid activation code. Okay, Avast free antivirus active, expires November 3rd, 2019. Oh, 2019. Okay, so now there's 365 days remaining. Okay. I like to keep it logged in though, so that way it'll automatically download updates and everything. Now let's see. Maybe I tapped it wrong. Unless I have caps lock on or something. Yeah, got caps lock on. Why do I have caps lock on? I must have hit it by accident. Probably only had just this one more try. At least it had a button where I could read that what I had. It's still working. Still just sitting there saying sorry you've got the wrong password. But now it's not working anymore. Well, we'll wait. I hope I didn't get it wrong or do something wrong. I'm not sure. It still says sorry the password's wrong. I don't want to keep trying to get it locked out completely. Well, it says log out. So that little window didn't work right. So I'm logged in now. Yeah. Manage account. I may open up a browser. But the other stuff is, oh, I see. You got to hit the red X to get back to the other windows. I want to get to the update and make sure it's updated. Well, let me put my SD card in there and reformat it while I'm waiting on this thing to. Clicked on manage account. It didn't do anything. Get rid of that. Okay, let's go to protection, scans. Try to go to scans. Run smart scan. I'm just going to run a smart scan because I don't want it to take forever. Oh, what about the updates, though? It's already running now. It would have probably updated it if it wasn't up to date. I think. It's doing it now, so. Okay, it's mounted up. Now that I see that little problem, I figure out where to a pencil. Put it over here. The pencil that I used to move around my KVM switch. It's in the way when I want to put my keyboard up there. Okay, I want to get into gparted. I guess I forgot to. Did I switch? Yeah, I switched. Okay. I switched over to the other screen to check while gparted is opening up in the window I don't want it in. Okay, HT4, ext4. Now I'm thinking, oh, I didn't copy those files over onto that system yet, did I? But it can't see them in the other one. It's still scanning. It's going to take longer than I thought it was. I mean, it's still on 0% done. It says weak passwords, virus scan, performance, browser add-ons, network threats. That's going to be the full thing and half of that. The only thing that it'll actually do is, for free, on the free version, is virus scan and maybe weak passwords. So I probably should have stopped it. I should have just done a special scan. Pick what I wanted to scan. Well, yeah, I really hate to delete those off of here and then have to. I think I should copy them onto the hard drive of this thing before I reformat this thing. I didn't think about that, so let's do that. I won't plug it right in since it's still trying. It's just not even getting started on that smart scan. So let's stop that. Okay, and I can hear the machine working hard too. You got to. Oh, it went to 1% when I did that. Okay, what about protection? I need to find the place where you update. Silent mode is on. Turn off. I still don't know if that means it won't. Privacy, performance, software updater. There we go. Oh, that's for the software on the machine, and that never used to work worth a crap. I never. Every time I use it, I got aggravated with it. That ain't what I want. Okay, go back to status. Yeah, it works the machine pretty hard. And that was one thing I used to like about Avast. It did not overwork the machines. It was much more lightweight than most of the other big name brands, big well-known brands. But this is a pretty old machine, so it runs on XP. Didn't give me a squawk on that. Okay. Trying to get back to status, and it hasn't gone there yet. I should probably quit clicking on things. I'm going to say, but it used to run better than this. Well, of course, this is a brand new version of this, but I'm kind of starting to think it doesn't run so good still. So yeah, I don't want to build my easy boot stick with something that could be infected. I'm pretty sure I ran like rescue virus scanners on it though. And it may have deleted stuff, that's why it runs, but it runs a bit slow. It didn't run anything to, delete anything that breaks it, but deleted some stuff to make it run worse. I can't remember, that's the thing. I think I was in the place where, okay, I could reformat it any time, but I just hadn't done it yet. Or I thought I should reformat it and I could do it when I wanted to. Now it's not going back to where I wanted it to go. Just thinking about it. And I guess I don't remember where I am on my I guess I'm showing my blue desktop here. Oh, I switched because I thought I had to switch. All I need to do is grab the mouse, see what I'm showing. Yeah, so I may have managed to get Avast locked up. It's just sitting there, not responding. Yep, I clicked on something else. It says not responding. That's aggravating. Okay. Well, if I have to kill Avast, then I may as well reboot the system, but it might be better to kill it first and then reboot. Let's see. I hit Control-Alt-Delete and it didn't come up yet, though. Well, maybe my memory's better than I was thinking, because maybe it isn't going to run to where I can use it. It seemed good at first. Let's see if I can get to the reboot menu. Yeah, the machine is just almost locked up. I can't even get the start menu to come up. And I don't like the hard shut down XP machine because it can break the file system real easy. There it came. Okay, I'm going to hit reboot, and then it'll probably say this Avast is not responding, and I'll tell it to kill it, Oh, now Control-Alt-Delete came up. Firefox update running. Oh. Why is it running when Firefox is not even running? I'll end that task. It may going to be restarting anyway. Where's the Windows restart menu? This came up. I saw the restart menu come up and go away. Let's see if we can get to Avast is, oh, what does it say? Something has gone wrong, unable to protect. Please try restarting Avast. Okay, well, we'll do that. So that was probably one of the things that was going on, is that too many things running, that Firefox update running in the background. Don't remember Firefox ever doing an update unless Firefox was running, done in Linux. It doesn't act like it. It's still taking forever to restart, though. Let's trying to just restart Avast this time. And I hit the restart button, but I saw it blink up and go away, so it might have got taken away by the Control-Alt-Delete, which it was already, I'd already hit that, and it just took that long to come up. But I'm beginning to think I was right that this if I want to have XP on here, I need to reinstall it. I don't like when I have a system all set up the way I want it. I hate to do that again because I got to start over with that. There is a program that I use or a website. It's called 90.com or .org, NINITE or something like that. And you can go to the website, click on whatever open source apps you want to install, and then it'll build you a install script for Windows, and just like I do in Linux, but for Windows. And then you run that. It's an executable file, and you just run it, and it'll install everything. You can even run it again if you want later to update everything, but I use Layer Utilities for that. That's the one that has the good updater. All right, it just doesn't want to restart. So I'm going to try restarting the system. It says Avast is down. I think that's what it already said. Now I'm going to hit restart. I'll try one more time. And if it's just going to do that on me, then I'm just trying to get around Avast, this new Avast, enough to see that it's updated and that it's, actually watching the system. And really, I want to do at least one scan of the most important parts of the system. It's it's ending something, available net something. I thought it said Avast at first, but just let it do it, take a countdown and do it. That way it might end it, kill it nicely instead of hard. Now what's it? Intel wireless, okay. So it's ending all the stuff that's running in the background. I've got the wireless and the ATI video stuff running in the background. Attempt has been made to enter a protected area of Avast protection control. This may be legitimate, but it's probably because I tried to go in there and it was just everything was hung up, I think. Now, if there was some malware trying to do that, that'd be something else, wouldn't it? But I was trying to get to the setup part of it, so I imagine I tried to do that, and it just was hung up, and it didn't get to come back with the dialogue, for me to type in the password. It's actually kind of thundering a little bit outside, I think. It's taking its time to shut down, but I don't have now. Well, I was fixing to reformat my SD card while I was waiting on things, but I don't. Like I said, I want to go ahead and copy these files off of here first. Put them on that hard drive. All right. Oh, you gotta hurry up and put it into Windows. Guess I better get that keyboard. I can put the little wireless in the front and then have room to type on both of them, but I generally forget which keyboard to type on, and so I usually just put one on here at a time. It's booting up. Well, you can see that. I'm going to have another cold pill, I guess. Cough drop really didn't help much. And I suppose, it's a different flavor, but it should be the same kind of cough drop. It's the ones I was usually use. Let's see. It's raining. It's starting to rain now. I'm gonna hear it outside. I got my window open, so it's easy to hear. Yeah, it's back up, but of course it'll take it a while to get it ready to use. Avast is not up yet. No, it looks like the wireless and everything, that part's getting up. And there's some little thing, a little square thing that looks like it says text by it or something down there. I don't know what that one is. I'm not sure. I think it might be something to do with the wireless, actually. I don't think I've ever set up the wireless on the Debian 8 system. I think it needed to go find some drivers or something. It didn't do it automatically. And so I usually always, when it's in here, I always plug it in anyway. But that is one thing good on a laptop. Say if you plug it into a router, like you don't have ports on your main router, you can plug it into any router, and then set your Wi-Fi to your main router, and then you can still like do remote desktop and stuff. Of course, that's 54 megabits, and the wired is 100 megabits, so it might not be. Usually, a lot of times I would turn off wireless to make it quit doing that too, because like if you have them both on it, sometimes you're not sure which one is running through, the wireless or the wired. Okay, now I see the Avast icon. Now, see if I can right-click on it. It's probably not ready for me to do that yet, so this time I'll wait. Last time I clicked too many times. Yeah, this machine has Sardu. That was one of my favorite multi-boot maker builders. It has, I used to use it for that quite a bit because they only ran in Windows. And see the rest of them. There should be Yummy, and that's the only one I see. I don't see Yummy or kind of hard to see with his background, but even for me, unless they're out of order, I'm not going to try to reorganize anything right now. I don't see any of the others, but I just happen to see that Sardu. I guess I don't know if I took them off or what, but when it got to where years ago Fedora would boot if you build them with Sardu and Yummy and stuff, but then it got to where it wouldn't, so I quit using them. Well, some of them got to where they didn't work as well with as many different ISOs. So it would seem from what now there's my icon to be able to. That's how long it took to get to where for that to come up. So now let's try to open up the Avast window again, and don't click too fast. Try to get to the right section. I'm not going to run that smart scan is just running everything it's got, and that'll take all day, especially if this thing's running as slow as it seems like it is. Not all day, all night. It'd probably take a couple hours at least. It could take a couple hours with it running good, from this one, with all that stuff it was trying to run. It says you're protected, so maybe this time I will still be logged in and everything. It's raining pretty hard. The silent mode, still not sure if I want that turned off. I'm going to do a scan first and see, because if that only doesn't pertain to the scans, then I don't want it on. I don't want all those advertisements, driving me crazy all the time. They may do it anyway. Okay, protection, privacy, status, protection. I don't know if I need to go to the left or to the menu up there. I think protection would probably be where I would go. Let's see, scans. No, there's no update button there. Privacy, performance. Okay. So let's go to this menu, settings, go there and see if I can make sure it's updated and everything. I don't know if the settings are still the way I had them. Look like they may be. Threat detected, suspicious item, attention unwanted program, scan complete. Well, that has sounds. Pop-ups. Tells you how long they stay up. Password. Okay. Protect with a password. Let's see. Program settings. Control, scan. Update control, virus chest, backup. Well, I'm going to put that password in there. I don't know if it's in there or not. I guess I have to say okay to make that take effect. Wasn't done with that section yet, but I want to make sure I don't lose what I just did. There was just blanks there where it says password. They may have, what I had in there already, which was this password, may have still been in there, but I wanted to make sure. Now it's just sitting there after I clicked OK. Just a little hand. It's showing me the hand. Telling me to talk to the hand. I'm busy. And it's still doing that. Dang it. Like it's frozen. Yeah, I tried to click on to make it page on down, and it just went to the hourglass and blinked at me. I guess this window will close when it finally gets done. It may not. This may be the same shape I remember it being. It's just not. The system's not usable for whatever reason. Now the green went away. Okay, there we go. It went back, like I thought it would do. Now I got to go back into settings to finish looking at what I was doing. Password. It's taken out now. Hit protect Avast with password. Maintenance. Logs, virus chest. Exclusions. Scan for viruses. Scan for outdated software is off. Scan for browser add-ons. I don't mind that. Network threats. Compatibility issues, performance issues. Scan for weak passwords. I don't want it to even do that anyway. There we go. Performance issues. I don't mind it telling me about them if it doesn't take forever. Special scans. Explorer scans. Settings. On files. Yeah, that looks okay. Alerts. Oh, that's where you send email alerts. Privacy. You want to allow update usage data to be sent to third parties. No, thank you. Oh, so when you do that, when you do anything, you have to hit, if you hit OK, I guess you could probably change everything you want in that window and then hit OK, but I don't know for sure. So the main thing is, I just saw that I lost my settings on the password area. That's what's weird. It was already probably set up just the way I wanted it. It was the way I wanted it. I just saw that the password was blank. And so now I changed one thing on privacy, clicked OK, and it's just sitting there with the hand again. So I won't do any other stuff. I'll wait. And before I was trying to page up and down and see if it would do it. Well, rolling the mouse wheel does nothing, so it tells me it's not going to work. I'll get my little mouse, hand off my mouse, I'll quit fiddling with it. But I'm beginning to think what anybody else watching probably figured out a long time ago. This thing is not going to work. Notifications. Okay. It looks like there's one notification, but it didn't jump up or anything. Maybe that people got so aggravated with that they changed it, because you used to couldn't turn them off. Protect. Yeah, see, now it's not selected. Program settings, protection control, protection settings, scan control, scan settings. Let's see. I don't want, things like virus chest, backup restore of Avast settings. That all should be protected. Program settings, general program access. I'm going to leave it like that. I don't think that any of the other stuff should be bothered without, because there's not just another person on the machine, but scripts that can do those sort of things. Viruses, malware. And I don't know why it all went away last time when I, maybe because I was trying to make it do stuff when it couldn't. It all went away. It turned off, completely turned off Protect Avast with password. And I didn't turn it off. I had it. There was like one other thing not selected that I thought, well, that looks okay. But now the more I look at it again, the update control. I think I've run into trouble where, like if somebody else was using it and they couldn't update it because they didn't know the password to update it. But that says update control, which you don't want somebody or something script to be able to turn off automatic updates either. So I'm going to leave it like that. General program access and program settings, which is nothing to, that's general program settings. I left that accessible, but it's still waiting to finish saving it. Then I'll have to get back in there again to make sure if what I did worked. Yeah, this is as much of a bad sidetrack as I thought it might end up being. Okay, it's finally done there. Gotta go back into settings to see if it worked. Password. It's off again. Why is it doing that? It was fine until I went to fix it. What the heck? Well, let's leave it alone for now. See if hit and cancel works. Okay. Protection, scan. Right at this moment, I just wanted to scan some files. Well, actually, I don't want full virus scan, targeted scan, boot time scan, custom scans. I think I'm going to want a custom scan. First, I want to copy these files in there. I never did find the area to see. Well, it says that you're protected, so I'm sure the updates are done. They're done. I don't really have to worry about that. Let's minimize it for now. Get into Total Commander. So I can copy those files. See, I'll copy them over, and then I'll run the scan on those files. Yeah, if I can do all this. It runs 4 times faster in Debian 8 than it does in XP right now, and I know it used to run pretty good in XP. It wasn't like this. I think I'm spinning my wheels. I think. Easy to boot. Probably have a folder on C drive called Program Backups. Yep. That's where I'm going to put my files. I don't really need that Avast file though. I just used it, so. You don't need them again once you've installed, really. I like to save them to use on other machines, but on this same machine, you don't need it. Oh, the autoplay's up now. Let's see. Oh no, it's still trying to work. It's already done. I'm already done. Autoplay's just now coming up. I just want to quit it now. Cancel. For the SD, you know, we plug it in the SD card. There. Let's go ahead and tell it to safely remove drive. See, earlier, the first time I had it booted up, and that's what's weird about it. First time I had it booted up, it was running pretty good. Even opened up the Avast pretty good, but then later, it gets worse. So, like I clicked on, okay, now it's finally safe to remove drive. So that leads me to believe things are starting up that are causing trouble that could be malware. They could be targeted scan. Create your own scans. I'm going to create a scan. Let's see. Create a new scan. There's a quick scan. Right now I want, it really kind of needs to, I'm pretty sure I've scanned this whole thing, but you like the whole system a few times. As bad as it's running, I probably did, well, I didn't do a boot time scan. If it'd probably run faster. It's better. A boot time scan is the best scan you can do with Avast. Well, it's the best scan you can do. Well, it does it automatically during boot with Avast, but with other like rescue systems, it scans it not just from DOS, like a boot time scanned it, but it scans it from an independent operating system. So you're definitely content and thorough. Oh, okay. But slow. And name extension fast. What happens if you click on that? You got to put the extensions in there. Okay. Unnamed scan, all hard disks. I like to have that thorough. I don't know that. Let me put a name in there. Is it going to let me? I can't type in the scan name. It's trying to lock the thing up now. It's just on the edge of not working, isn't it? Now the whole thing just went kablooey nuts, and everything lit up, and the hourglass is just sitting there. I can still move the mouse. There, went back. Okay, now it's letting me name. Now I quit typing. Oh, it's screwed up again. I don't know why it did that. I did kind of miss one of my keys that I was trying to type, but oh, I guess I must have accidentally hit enter. Yeah, it just says all, but that's good enough. I was trying to hit all drives or all disks. Quick scan. Let's do a quick scan. Schedule the scan. Oh. Well, that's a different way to do it. I just want to run. Let's do. Boot time scan would be a good one to do. Do I have that SD card in there? No. I thought I had it in there. Oh, I took it out because I'm going to reformat it. I don't need it in there now. The files, I copied them off of there. Okay. So let's do the boot time scan. Run on next. Let's see. Yeah, deepest places that are inaccessible. Says that install specialized antivirus definitions. I've never seen that before. Click on this link. I would do that, but not right now. Run on next boot. It's going to scan quicker outside of Windows the way it's running. And scan will run on next boot. Okay. Wish I could do a screenshot of that. I don't think it has the screenshot. I hit print screen, it didn't do nothing. I'm sure I got something to do screenshots on here though. I don't have a, I guess I took it out like a desktop search, you know, that runs all the time so I can find stuff real quick. Let's see, I would probably have green shot on here if anything. I don't see anything under green shot though. It could be under the maker of it though. Uh-oh. Now the start menu quit responding. This thing's just not running good at all. Came back. So if it's that messed up, not a single one of these programs I would want. Like you can do things where you save the programs that you have, and, you know, save them and then reinstall them and stuff. But it just wouldn't. It's just too. I think it's too full of crap. So I can't find a way to make a screenshot easily. Let's just close this and reboot. If it'll close. I figured closing it's better than just leaving it up and rebooting. It might not. I'm afraid it'd lose the settings I just gave it. So I'm going to do the boot time scan because I think it'll run the fastest and it will be thorough, the most thorough. I did see there's another way to do it a little more thorough. This is something else, special stuff you can install, probably like, I don't know what it might be. Surely it scans for rootkits and everything. So I restarted it, you know, by default. But anyway, just let it do that. And starting to get hungry again. I guess it's been a while. I ate some nuts and a little baby chocolate chunk. What do you call it? Well, a bite. It's 2 bites if you're really sparing on your bites. 1 if you're really going after it. What do they call them? Nuggets. Hershey nuggets. So, well, let's wait and see if it's having to end some of that stuff. Normally you don't see that come up ending program, you know, but okay, now it's logging off. Getting ready to switch to the other machine. Go ahead and reformat the SD card in hopes that I'll be able to use this thing to write a new one. If I get a good boot time scan, then I won't be so scared. The thing is, if it don't run good enough, it's not going to be of any use, though, is it? But since one of the things I do with my Easy to Boot is make virus rescues, so it's the last thing you want is to build it on an infected system. I just thought I'd leave it on the camera until show what, in case you never seen what the Avast boot time scan looks like. Oh, and if I hadn't have done that, I forgot. This doesn't boot to XP by default, so I had to use the grub menu to get it back to XP. Or it wouldn't have even worked. It booted up to Debian. So I had a feeling I should do that. Now, I guess it'll show the logo and then go to Avast boot time scan. I was thinking it would go straight to that blue boot time scan. It sort of looks like a blue screen, but pay attention, it's really the Avast scan. There we go. Avast Anti Virus. Copyright 1988 to 88. I didn't know that was out that long. To 2018. Okay, it's scanning. This is really the best way to scan a system with a Windows virus scanner like that's on your machine, is with the boot time scan. So that's what I should do anyway. Okay, we're back on my machine. And we'll get back on the desktop. Let's go ahead and guess I can close those Avast windows now. Wait till I get my preview going again. I don't know how long that'll take, but that's the best, most worthwhile thing I can do besides running a rescue thing on it. And I don't even have one right now, so because my easy to boot is what I use for that. But that's the best, most worthwhile thing I. So close tabs to the right. Okay, and let's go over here and plug this in now, the easy to boot SD. I'll get me another little Hershey's nugget. Nuts would be good, but they have all that salt and they get in your teeth, and I just can't hardly stand to eat them unless I can go brush my teeth and when I have to get up. Okay, so yeah, I already copied everything that was on here. So everything on here I don't need. Oh yeah, let's see. I'll just lay my chocolate thing on the keyboard tray. It won't make me feel any less hungry. I have to actually eat it. All right. Now, okay, this is the system. Don't want to hurt that. This is my 232 gigabyte. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete them and then format the whole thing. Let's see, we got to unmount them first. I could probably just say format the whole drive, but this is simple. I know that much. Okay, so it said, now I haven't done it yet. Well, let's just go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and set more operations like making the new partition, but let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and make a new partition. Free space proceeding. Now that did that automatically. I'm going to leave it because a lot of times that could be why Grub didn't work, but it was like that, so I left it. But that it wasn't booting right. That's the thing that I remember not working right if you don't leave that free space on most drives, hard drives or whatever. I want primary partition. In fact, 32. See, I could put a label in there. But it wouldn't stay if I make it easy to boot system out of it. And I have seen where it caused trouble even. I'm going to leave that 1 megabyte because I've noticed that when I did this, I thought, well, shouldn't that be leaving a megabyte? And I thought, well, it didn't, so I guess it's all right. Sometimes maybe you should do your own thinking, huh? There are things that you already know. Okay, so we'll let that happen. And you can watch what it does if you do that. I'm just going to do a single partition because that's the way it was before. And you know what? I think I'll try to run defrag on it. I'll put one file on there or something. See if I can run defrag on it. Is it done? Yeah, it's successful. Okay, but I think I will reset it. I don't think you really have to. Well, since it's not mounted, see, all I really have to do is say right-click and mount. But just to make sure, oh, you can't mount it right now. Yes, so I have to unplug it and plug it back in, and that resets it. So I'm done with that. So I'm going to close that. So I unplugged it and plugged it back in. Now it'll mount up that 32 gigabyte volume, that 32. And now there's 2% on the Avast scan. It might take a long time. I don't know. Okay, 29.8 gigabytes, what it really is, onto the file system. Now, the size of the file doesn't matter so much, I don't think. But I'm thinking, since I've been trying to do these ISOs, I think I'll put one of these ISOs on there. Net install. I thought I had. Oh, that's the big. I don't want that big 386 one on there. Is that what that is? Oh, that's the AARC. That's all I have in here. Okay. What about the 29? I think that's a. Yeah, AARCH. That's the. Wouldn't fit. I just realized something. These my other ones, they're on that NT drive. Well, I've had both. I copied one from here, I think, at least originally from here. I mean, well, maybe I didn't. What? Unless I deleted it, I thought I had mate on there. Maybe I looked and then I didn't see anything I want to copy. I just realized that's an NTFS drive I've been copying them from. Is that possible? Oh, it's not even plugged in. Let's plug it in. A backup drive. Actually had them. I always put the backup drive in the far left. There's two on the front of that in the far left, and I put whatever I'm doing in the right. Well, with it unplugged, I didn't notice, and so I actually have them reversed now. But it won't hurt anything. But just wait for it to get mounted up. I guess it'll. Yeah, it should still mount it in the same place. I think it won't matter if it shows up in here. Let's say if I come out of there, yeah, it just says Seagate expansion drive. Okay, downloads. And Fedora Linux. This is just to have something for it to defrag, file for it to defrag. Extension so I can find them better. Make Compass, Security Live, Server. I'll go ahead and do that. That's because it's the smaller files don't actually have to be defragged. They could copy into that config ISO file. Those 5 Well, 583 is bigger than 500 megabytes, though. I thought it wasn't doing it for a minute. See, I'm so used to having my little window open up, but there it is up there working. And you can hold it, mouse up there, and see what's going on. But I never even remember that. I just happened by accident. I'm still at 2% over there on my XP scan, so this might take longer than I'm gonna want to sit here. I'm getting, being hungry and all that stuff. But yeah, I got to thinking, okay, this is. I don't know what. I never thought about that, but all these files on this backup drive, NTFS backup drive. Windows NTFS drives need to be defragged ever so often. It could be that backup drive needs to be defragged by now. I don't know. Hadn't thought about that. I'm scared to defrag it. I'm scared I'll lose stuff. I'm scared to defrag it and do anything to it without. Now it has. The thing is, it has been broken, and I had to run check disk on it 2 or 3 different times, and it came back. So that if next time I've already started, originally just thought, well, it works good, and I left and letting it be a backup drive. But I'll tell you what, the ext4s and all that are a lot. This LVM's broken on my server, but I think that's just simply because it was running and the power went on and off. Really, I think it went on and off within like 2 minutes. I was asleep and it kept waking me up, so it was really hard for me to tell how long. But at least the one time, kind of like the last time I heard it, I think it went off, came back on, and then within a minute or two, it went off and came back on again. The other times, it could have been anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours apart, for all I know. But it came on. It did it at least 4 times, maybe more, that night, and that was the time it broke the root file system within the LVM. Which was first time that's ever. I had a messed up LVM once years ago when I was able to. Well, I didn't get the system to boot again, but I got the files. I was able to access the files and copy them out of there. It was one of my old Linux systems. And that was my personal files. That's the only thing, the home directory was the only thing they used to put in the LVM. And I had to go and follow instructions and do stuff in the command line and all that stuff. But, because it didn't, well, back then, or maybe I just didn't know that. I think it just didn't work or something, because I don't remember. It's been a long time that I've known that you can just boot up to a live Fedora system and it will go ahead and mount all the file systems on there, including the LVMs, automatically, and then you can copy files. Maybe back then, in those days, it didn't mount the LVMs, just the ext4, or well, back then it was the ext2, I believe. Not even. I don't think ext3 had even came out. But yeah, see that finishes, and I don't even notice because it doesn't have that window up there. Okay, so now let's see if I can. See if I can run. We'll get right there in that folder. I'll have to go get. That's taking a while to open up the terminal window. There we go. Just move it over there for right now because I want to go to my documents. And I should have my defraggers. I don't want defrag errors. I want, defrag 2FS. I want that. Okay. Let's make that just big enough to be able to read it. Put this over here this time because then I can see my folder. Okay, so what I tried to run before, I'm going to try it again, but only I'm going to do it, actually, seems to me I should be able to, I'm going to go ahead and, is that SDC? No, I don't know if it's what it is. Let's copy it, but I won't run it yet because I need to know. I'll use disk this time because I think it opens up quicker. Okay, 2 gigabyte SDB1. Okay, so don't copy that part, it'll just be confusing. Paste that in there. Defrag2fs. Okay. Yeah, you got to specify the device. So even though you open it up in that folder, you still can't do it without doing that. So I want, now over here I can copy the little address. Control C. I think you have to hit Control C to get it to copy. I don't think you can, use the keyboard. Space. Oh, I hit Control V like it was going to work. Oh, I didn't get it in there. Try it again. Maybe you do need to hit right-click copy. Maybe that's just the opposite. I think it is. Yep. SDB1. Now I don't know about that. Now that switches for that other program. Space dash F. Mounted device. Okay, so can I unmount it from here? Kind of scared to do that from here. Oh, unmount. Delete. That's why I'm scared of it right there. I'm going to get out of that program. I'm much more familiar with Gparted. I mean, I'm familiar with that program, but I don't know. I just like the interface of this one better. It's less prone to make me make mistakes. Still at 2% on the XP scale. I think it doesn't show a lot of percent for a long time, then all of a sudden it goes real fast. Surely. Alright, now we got SDC, is that it? No, it's that's my backup drive. It's mounted after that one. Yeah, whatever one's mounted first. So yes, I don't want to accidentally do the backup drive. Dev SDB1. Yeah, backup drive is SDC. Actually, SDC1 is that hidden drive, and then SDC2 is the backup partition. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug it now. I don't need anything else off of it right now. Safely remove drive. Bvut safer. Okay, dev SDB1. Okay, dev SDB1. Oh. Yeah, it was mounted. Okay, yeah. Still the same spot, but now I feel safer. Okay, now it's not mounted. What, did I forget to unmount it? Why, yes. This is why, okay, unmount. Could not unmount. Target is busy. Let's see. Why is it busy? Because I've been trying to run this on it? Oh, because I'm on it in Crusader. That's why. Yeah. So when I open that up, and I don't know, the terminal window may even give me trouble. We'll see. If I just get out, sometimes you have to close Crusader to get it to quit causing trouble like that. SDB. Mounted device. Oh, I didn't unmount it. I guess I'm getting tired, eh? Okay, let's see. Yep. Okay, so I have to start this game all over again. Just get everything that's trying to access it closed. I didn't open that up. No, I opened that up from the hard drive, so that'll be fine. Now, see if we can unmount it. Yeah, I think we can do it now. Yeah, it's not mounted now. So now we can open up terminal again. It doesn't do me any good to be in that folder. It could be anywhere, but this terminal is a good one for, actually you can't be in that folder, because then I couldn't now mount the device. And you have to point it to it, and that's my last command, dev2fs. Failed to open the device. Well, I unmounted it. but it's still showing up to the system. Dev SDB1, defrag Ft5 dev SDB1. Maybe I should use the other way. I wonder if you need to put a / on there. Yep. That's a different error than I've gotten before. Oh, if it's not mounted, you can't do it. I was going to start to say. I was going to say I would do it the way they were showing you to do it with that program. That other defrag program that comes with Easy to Boot, but it was going to the folder and everything. But I was going to try to do it with it mounted, but this one says it can't do it with it mounted. So defrag Ft5 dev SDB1. If I got it put in there right, dev SDB1. Yes. Open the device. I don't know what to do now. Because I'm not, can't do it mounted. Can't mount it from here, so well, it's not. Yeah, it's not showing up because it's not mounted. So I guess I don't know how to do it. Oh, now it's at 6% on the XP antivirus scan. It's finally getting somewhere. I think that's actually the only program that can do defrag that I found. So you can do check, but actually half the time that breaks these SD cards if you run that check and fix on them. And I just got to reformat it, so I don't want to break it. But evidently, even though you reformat them, that doesn't do anything to the defragging. I guess it wouldn't, because that stuff's still where it is. Stuff that's been deleted, like they were saying in that page. I already knew that kind of stuff about, you know, FAT32 and NTFS file systems from back in the my Windows days. So, I wonder why there's a part of it that's yellow. Oh, is that for that 1 megabyte? It's way too big to be that 1 megabyte section, I would think. It's blank. That's where you can put the master boot record on a hard drive. Now, I don't know that it puts a master boot record on the SD card. Maybe it puts part of the boot stuff in there, part of the grub for DOS in there, and that's why it didn't work last time. That's why I went ahead and left that 1 megabyte. I guess I'll quit trying to do it because E2FS, let's close this so we don't hurt anything. Now I don't want to start E2FS. I don't want to break this, accidentally run it on my main system and break it or something. E2FS doesn't do a defrag though. It just does fix the file system and stuff like that. So I do not think I know of another. I'll unplug it now. I don't think I have any other programs to try and use. See, there's no graphic user interface for defrag. Only disk programs I have that are graphic are just the ones I've always had. That mount deal there, which I forget and click on sometimes. That's for mounting disk, but you don't really need that. Crusader will mount them, plug them in, they'll mount, And you can't do it unless you have root privileges. So if you just click on it, it doesn't let you sign in as root. It just says you can't do it. And then use disk usage, and then disk usage. So that's all I have. So of course I unplugged it, so it's not there now. But yeah, there's no tools. I'm scared to even click on the little icon. But there's no defrag in there. Could plug it in and see. Make sure, but well, I know there's not. I've looked 100 times. Looked 100 times lately. We'll mount it up and look. See it? Mount it up. Shows you the file that's on there. I do think. Let's see. How could I do that? I was thinking it really would be good to have all those. It would take a long time to make that easy to boot, though, if I put them in the folders ahead of time. I can't do it on that laptop. It doesn't have enough space. It's only got 25 megabytes for that entire XP partition. And I imagine it's got 15 used right now, if it'll even run. So with that, let's see. Yeah, now if I go disk, so if I get on 32 gigabyte drive, manage storage device, so on and so on. Format, edit, file system recess, check, repair, edit mount points, create partition image, restore. Now those are two really good tools. That used to be how you had to, for a while that's having you used to restore partition image. You would click that and then pick your Fedora ISO, and then it would write it to your USB stick or SD card. And that was how you were having to do it. And when I learned the hard way that they don't do that anymore, I was trying to install one and it wouldn't work. It let you do it, but then it wouldn't work. Couldn't use it to install. I think it let you try, and then it just broke, didn't work. And then finally I went back to the website and read it, and they said, no, use Fedora Media Writer now, and it does it different. Benchmark partition, I never noticed that until now, Fedora 28, but I never tried it. So that delete selected partition, you would think that would be unmounted, but that's delete, so be careful. This button here unmounts or mounts, same button. So if you're not paying attention, you might think that minus is unmount. Or I would. I always do. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the biggest thing ever that I can't defrag it on here, but I was just thinking, well, maybe if I run defrag on it beforehand, if I could, then the Windows defrag, make this drive contiguous would work in the normal way. Actually, the first recommended way that they ask for you to do it, say for you to do it. Because I think that's why defrag won't run, is because there's not enough continuous free space on this thing. So I guess it's a lost cause then, unless I could. If I can't get defrag to run, then I can't use it. And there's actually no guarantee that any of these newer Fedora ISOs will even run even after that. They still may not boot. So I guess my idea, I've been thinking a lot about using this SD card on my Raspberry Pi and setting it up as a server, and it would, because the full-size SD card that I have for it, that I bought with it, is only 4 gigabytes. It fills up real quick, and so anything I really wanted to do with it just didn't, you could only put, like I used it as a media player, but you couldn't download any files to it or anything. It was like 3 gigabytes as soon as you got it up and running, and or even more, I think. But anyway, it would be fine. 4 gigabytes would probably be no, it wouldn't be enough, because I have, 20 gigabytes drive in the Net Pro Max, and as soon as I installed Fedora 28 server, and added some programs that I wanted. Not, there aren't a lot of really big stuff. No graphic user interface. I only have like 2.5, 3 gig left on a 20 gig hard drive. So see, 4 gig won't even come close. There's some. I tried one server on there that was small, and it wasn't any use to me. It wasn't anything like Apache. I couldn't just copy my website on there and have it run. So I need that 32 gigabyte would be just about right. Now that my Raspberry Pi, if I was going to use it for my server, the good thing about it is I could leave it in here. It wouldn't make noise and wouldn't make enough heat to bother me. But it's I'm sure it's 32-bit. It's only 750 megabyte, 750 megahertz, 512 megabyte of RAM. So that's nothing compared to the IBM, which is 2.5 gigahertz with 2 gig of RAM. The NetPro Max is 2.8 gigahertz with 2 gig of RAM. But the NetPro Max is really loud, and I would have to run it in the garage. And now I realize it's just not going to work right on that old worn-out Linksys. I'd have to put, well, probably what I'd do is put DDWRT on my TP-Link, because right now I'm not even using the Wi-Fi on it. Put it on there, get it all set up to be a wireless repeater, just like I did with the Linksys. And then I'd have to, if I want any more ports in here, which I do, I think the thing to do would be to buy me a switch, just a wired switch. Get like 8 or 10 ports for but probably less than a router cost. Looked at them on and off. And because I only want one Wi-Fi router running in here, they fight each other, and it decreases the speed in them, and the connectivity droppage issues increase when you have more than one router in the same, well, right next to each other, like I had them here in this room, like literally stacked on top of each other. That Linksys was actually more powerful. It would knock it down by a good third. That TP-Link, it would knock down its power by a good third. Once I realized that and turned off that Linksys, because you could go in the living room with the phone and it would work and not work, work and not work. And when I finally turned off the Linksys, and for a while I only used it in here as a wired router, I quit having so much trouble. Now, you couldn't go in the garage, though. You're fine in the living room, but if you went on out in the garage, because see, just sitting here, I'm going to sit here and talk and wave my hands. At least I can show you some of them. Okay, here I am, right in front of me where I'm looking behind the computer is where my routers are and where my D-Link wireless router. Now, the garage is the complete other end of the house. And this is about a 1,200 square foot house, 2-car garage, and it's on the absolute far wall. That's where it's sitting on a shelf. So back out there with it set up as a wireless repeater, that's just about right, I mean, it could actually maybe do a little more good if it was in the living room, as far as, picking up the signal where it's beginning to get weak, and then you'd probably send it down into the garage okay. But I had a ZoneNet router that finally just basically died. It still ran, but it wouldn't get more than like a megabit download speed. I had it out there for years, and it worked really well when it worked. Before it got too old, it was 150 megabit wireless, and it was faster than the Linksys. It's 54 megabit. It's older than that router. But the Linksys was actually given to me, once my sister gave it to me. It was she bought it brand new, spent like almost $80 on it, and used it for years. And then it got old, and she wanted a faster one, and she didn't know much about them, but somebody recommended it to her, and it was a good idea. I didn't know until she gave it to me, in a year or two after she gave it to me, that those were the ones that everybody loved to hack and put DDWRT and all that stuff on them. And it's like a lot of people's favorite router, and it ran. That thing is, I don't know when she got it. I'd have to look. Well, if you know how old those things are, she got it when it was a brand new hotshot router, so it ran good until, I don't know what caused it to, it stayed in the house. I didn't have it out in the garage back then, but first port 4 quit working, the wired port, and I kept using it with, for a year or two more after that, and then the wireless started acting up and dropping connections and stuff, and that's when I started investigating. Figured out, I found out it was really slow on the wireless even, And then I figured out it was actually really knocking down the power of my TP-Link. But even after I quit using it and I didn't even use it at all for a while. Well, I think I turned off the Wi-Fi and just used the wired for a while, maybe a year. And I had that ZoneNet out there in the garage, and I only turned it on when I was in the garage most of the time. And then I was still, like you couldn't go out into the garage with the phone or anything. I couldn't go out there and do any videos, and I thought, well, maybe if I get a new router. And I guess it was still kind of hinky in the living room sometimes, and we have the DVD player that's, I have a cable running there. You can plug it in, but the wireless is faster than the wired connection. It's a 100-foot cable, and you're losing quite a bit on that long of a cable. And so we almost always use wireless in there. And of course, like I said, when you go in there with other devices, you would have trouble sometimes. So and not just because of the router on its own. The biggest problem is not only does, like say, I was talking about the routers being close to each other fighting. Well, all the neighbors. I mean, there's I don't have anything like that on the desktop, but on the phone, it'll show all the signals in the area, and they all want to pick the same channels, right? And they're on top of each other. And so that's one thing I learned a long time ago. I learned to, of course, I used to just guess, but once I got these phones, you can see what's where. So I put my routers on less occupied channels and manually set them, and that does help quite a bit, noticeably. And but still, it still interferes, So all these routers, and I've seen a couple of printers. We have one, but I see another one, an HP printer that's obviously a neighbor's because ours is Epson, and it's strong signal. So all the newer devices are stronger, and they're going to tend to walk on the older devices because the technology is. The newer it gets, the more able it is to walk on the older technology. And I think they probably do that a little bit by design so that you'll buy new stuff, But so the older routers, even before they got to where they were just wearing out and not working right, they were being, like I said, oddly enough, the Linksys would actually walk on my TP-Link, but it didn't seem to walk on the D-Link. But it was already running slow anyway. But it didn't seem to hurt that when I could turn it on, and it didn't seem to degrade my. I could sit there in real time watch the signals on your phone with that app that I use, and you turn on the Linksys and you could watch that signal degrade by a third on the TP-Link. But on the D-Link, it was just a little bit. But you don't want any degrading for no reason. So, but I can't turn off the neighbor's signals. So, the only thing you can do is get on different channels. Well, we're finally to 28% on XP and boot time and Avast boot time scan. But what was I doing a minute ago? I don't think I'm gonna. Probably no sense at all in me. Yeah, it's gonna take a good long time. I probably don't need to keep making. I'm not gonna be able to make a video. I don't even want to make a video long enough. Probably, unless it speeds up a lot for that to get finished. So, well, it's 9:05. It's getting late. I really need to eat. I need to quit this fun. It really hasn't been fun today. It's been nothing but one roadblock after another. It's been aggravating today. I may want to delete this file off of the SD card because it's not in there. There's no folders in there for it to be in yet. Actually, maybe I don't even want to put easy to boot on this SD card. I might. The reason I was going on and on about that, I got sidetracked, but I want to find it. I got my DNS server set up on my NetPro Max, and let's go ahead. Besides running a res check on it, and I don't even stream. I got my DNS server set up on my NetPro Max. My easy to, my live stream there. It wasn't actually playing what I'm doing right now. It was like wherever I paused it at. So I got it set up on there, but I didn't quite get it in my head. How can I get it live on the internet and test it? Without. I was trying to do it without taking down my server, I think what I'd have to do is go into the router. It's taking forever to reload, isn't it? Go into the router and try it again. Go into the router and just switch from the gateway to the NetPro Max. I would make it live on the internet. And then let's check this and try it again. And went to the router and then put the NetPro Max, switch the router, the D-Link to point to the NetPro Max, and then it'll be live on the internet. And set it up like I was doing. I guess I already did that to respond to bishopco.com, but then I have to bishopco.com is forwarded to on my bishopco.us.2, so I'd have to take the forwarding off so that it's looking for bishopco.biz like what it really is. But the other thing is, I think I might have to change the default DNS servers. That's the thing I'll have to check into. The default DNS servers that GoDaddy uses, I don't think they would end up finding that. I think I would have to put, I'm not sure. I guess I could just try it and see what happens, but I might end up having to put as the default DNS. And what makes sense to me, okay, if my NetPro Max is my DNS server, then I have to put the IP address that it's on, my public IP address, in there as my default DNS server, which would just be my IP address. Now in GoDaddy, it's like ns1.so-and-so. I think there is an IP address in there, but maybe I'd put ns1 and then my IP address. I can't. Years and years ago, I kind of knew how to do. I'd done it before, not with a DNS server of my own. Well, I did try, and I never got it working. But I don't remember. It's been too long. But anyway, trying to do it on like my Fedora 14 system with the GUI, I think is what I was doing, instead of the way I am doing it now, following the instructions, doing it in the command line. So whole point being, I want to see if I can make that work or not, and if it's just over my head and I can't get it to work, or if it just ends up being too complicated to keep it working, like, okay, if I have to, every time my IP address changes, I got to go to the GoDaddy and go to all my domain names and change that DNS server IP address manually every time. That'd be way harder than the way I have it now with the forwarding service. The only good thing about it would be that my Google ratings should go up, because right now it's seeing my domain names are just lost because they're not. They call it fully qualified domain names. They are, but they're being forwarded. So the one that they're being forwarded to is not considered. The Google doesn't consider it a fully qualified domain name. I guess it is. They're just letting me use it, letting everybody use their domain name. But I don't know. It definitely. Like I showed before, if I search for Don's, if you search for donsongs.com, that probably won't even come up in #1 in the search. See what happens with them right now while I'm talking about it. So if I search for my actual domain name, my website won't come up. I think it'll come up with some other stuff. Well, that did. And then the very next thing is videos by that guy that's famous in India. Well, no, Facebook, that's mine. I think. Yeah, that's a music. I made a separate music page on Facebook. That's mine. Okay, it's doing pretty good. I've seen it do really, really bad. Oh, and that's me. That, I don't know what that is. But yeah, this right here. Okay, that's my web, but it goes to bishopco.us too. So maybe that's working okay now. It wasn't. Let's see what bishopco.com. No, I don't. See, it changed it. I want bishopco.com. Got to pay attention to that when you search. That is not me. See, the very first one is bishopco.com. And then that's not me. That's not me. And that started happening after I started using this forwarding like this. When I used to have my servers leased, from GoDaddy, my hosting, it wouldn't be like that. If you, I mean, if you search for the actual IP, domain name, you would get your own website, for sure. But the way I'm doing it, and it's been years now, and I've been wanting to fix it for years. Heck, I don't see it at all. Now before, that's really weird, bishopco.com. Yeah, I didn't type it wrong. If I go bishopco, okay, now I did that the other day. Now that shows my Google page, I think is what that is, which is kind of odd. Oh no, it says us.2 right there. If I click on it, I guess it'll take me out, bishopco.us.2. So it sees and that is number one. Isn't that weird? And it says www.bishopco.com, but if I just search for bishopco, but if I search for bishopco.com, I don't even see it in the results. That's really weird. I mean, that's actually kind of good that I'm on top there. Oh, that didn't go to the right one. That went to somebody else's. Oh, that's Bishco, yeah. So, I don't know why. I've never seen my own stuff come up in this little part right here. Not sure if that's not a paid ad. I know that because I didn't pay for it. But usually you'll see like whatever the website is right here, and then this will be up there too, But I know I do have a Google, I have it on a Google listings, so that must be what's causing that. And they're favoring their own listings. Maybe I shouldn't be telling all these competitors that, but there's one of my other websites. Let's see what that does. Yeah, okay, now there's some videos of mine. Looks like April 28th. It says live stream, but I've renamed them, so they should be saying, what I renamed them to, I would think, from August 18th, August 14th, and so on. I'll click on one of them just to see. It's kind of weird. I know I haven't left off renaming them. Yeah, see, I renamed them something before they start making noise. I don't know. I guess that takes a while for that to change. Okay, now here's what should be my website. Yeah, it is. Oh, and it's, see, I've got it hidden so you don't see where it's going. I've forgotten it was like that. That seems to help, because it helps. It's hard for the functionality, though. You end up with more errors and harder keeping the pages working right. Let's see. I'm trying to see if, yeah, I think trying to see what links I have on here. Some of them are so old I don't think they're any good anymore. Some of the outside links. I didn't realize some of those were still on there. Zillions and that one. Those two I don't think they're even, they might still be available. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of things that are no longer, that aren't on there. I guess I never did put maybe one of them. I have what's called HTML Bible that is supposed to be free and open source, and I put it on my server years ago. I might have never put the links on my websites. But anyway, I think maybe because of space I didn't put it on here this time on this backup server. Can't remember if it's on there or not. That right there is, oh, see, it didn't go there, but that would just be some Bible references to the Psalm 68 page. So. And I also have